Welcome to the dark side of the paranormal with your hosts, June Lundgren and Wendy Stanton. Stay with us as we discuss all things paranormal. Welcome to the dark side.
Hello, this is June.
And this is Wendy from Ghost and Girls Paranormal.
Tonight we're going to talk a little about ourselves and what we do. How about if you start, Wendy?
Oh boy. I'm never good at starting these things out. Why don't you do it?
All right. I am a psychic medium, international author, demon seer, and I have the ability to communicate with animals, and I'm a nurse. That's my day job.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. And I have been an insurance agent for 22 years, and I'm a sensitive. I'm working hard on all of it. I could communicate with animals, but they do much better with her. So that's the whole short story right there.
I've been helping people with their paranormal issues since the 60s, the late 60s, early 70s. Even in grade school and high school, people would come to me. Back then, it was a case of word of mouth. And I would, go to their place and talk to the ghosts and either cross them over or make sure if they wanted to stay, that they were nice and not bothering the living.
There you go. I've always had this ability. It's just people didn't understand it. And so I pretty much kept it to myself until I was able to be around people who understood it. Didn't want to creep people out. I'd see things coming and I'd tell them and they wouldn't believe me. And so I just started kind of shutting it down for many years until, oh my goodness, till I had kids, and then things started ramping up again.
Yeah, I've been this way my entire life. So, I thought everybody was the same way, could hear the dead and angels and everything. My grandmother raised me for the first 5 years, and she taught me the basic information. And over the years, after she crossed over, she died in 1979, she helped me learn even more things. And I got into the paranormal, I guess, because it's always been a part of me, and I like to help people. And it's very important that people understand that they have the power to help themselves. And that's why I wrote my first book, A Medium's Guide to the Paranormal, because I'm all about empowering people to help themselves.
That's why we have started doing what we do to help other people. And so that's why we are here, to see how many people out there can understand what we're doing, want to know what we're doing, and have any questions they might have to ask.
I got into removals of demonics because all my life I've been able to see them and communicate with them. Not that I want to talk to them.
No.
But about in 1988, I was in a motorcycle accident and I died. And when I was on the other side, Michael said you needed to understand who and what you are. And I'm telling them, I'm just me. And he says, no, you need to understand your soul belongs to Ariel the Archangel. And she was resent back to live human lives until she learns to have compassion for mankind. I guess she has attitude, and she still has attitude.
Slightly.
But she knows her job. She does her job. So that's the main thing.
Yep.
And nobody picks this job.
No.
It
like them.
Yeah. God says, this is what you've done in all your lives. You were a demon slayer on the other side. And so you will continue to serve me by doing this and helping people. So 3 years ago, I met this weird person.
And I've gotten weirder with each year from knowing you.
Yeah, that's what it is. And we formed the group Ghosts and Girls Paranormal, and we started it because I get a lot of people requesting help with negative entities or what they think is negative entities in their home. And I really thought that there was a great need for it. There's no one in our local area that I know of that does what we do. And we knew that the need was out there to help people. And so that's why we started up the group Ghosts and Girls Paranormal, because we knew that if people needed help, we would go and help them no matter where.
They were finding us even without being our own little group. So we just decided we may as well form it and get going. That way they can find us on the internet.
Yeah, they can, we have a YouTube channel called Ghosts and Girls Paranormal. And we have a website, a couple of websites. One is ghostsandgirlsparanormal.com, and the other one is mysticconnections.org. And
we're on Facebook and Instagram.
And Twitter.
I was going to say,
and Twitter, yeah.
We kind of have to divide these things.
Yeah, we have to divide it and conquer. But, we like to get the word out there that if you need help, we're there. And no, we don't charge for it. If people want to make a donation, they can make a donation. But otherwise, it's God's work. And, you need help, we're there.
Yep, we'll do our very best for each and every person that calls us.
And we can do it I can do it from a distance. I can do removals from a distance. And a lot of the ones I do are distance removals. I've done them, removed them as far away as the Netherlands. So it's just a matter of having a picture. And how I work is I get a picture or an email from someone, and I can connect with the person and see what's going on around them. And then I look into it and see what's there, and then I do the removal. Now, if it's your local, all the better.
Yeah, we can come. We can do whatever.
Yeah, we come and of course have to terrorize the bad guys.
Well, heck yeah! And being she's been doing it so much longer, she handles the bigger ones.
The old ones.
She handles the old ones. If need be, I will step in and support, and I handle what we call the little minions, or as my granddaughter used to call them, the onions.
Creepy crawlies.
Yeah, yeah, they're just slimy little nasty screechy things.
Yeah.
So
they just we're Christian based.
Yes.
And it's not that we don't ascribe to other religions. We do. I mean, I don't care whether you call, God, Jehovah, Buddha,
whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It's your faith. Yeah.
It's all the same. When I died, I learned that on the other side, thought becomes reality. And so if you believe in something enough, then it can happen. And like I said, it doesn't matter what your religion is. As long as you believe in a higher power,
Yep.
It doesn't matter what you call it, if you call it anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that belief, then more power to you, and it will help you get rid of these negatives. Yeah. I would not tell somebody to just go out there and start doing it, because don't do it.
No.
You'll have a lot of problems with that. Unfortunately, we have come across people who have tried to do it themselves, and in return got stuck with these things attached.
Bigger than ever.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
No, it isn't. And I started doing it on accident when my oldest son was 2.5. I went into his room, and he had been temporarily possessed, and I just did what I felt was the correct thing to do and removed it, and he had no clue. He has no memory of it, but that was a very terrifying thing to see. And that was back in 1991, 92. And so I just slowly started opening things back up and helping people, because I do have empath tendencies, which I'm learning to redirect, because, well, taking them onto yourself is not a good plan.
No. There are different types of entities that we deal with. We deal with your regular entities, the ghosts and the spirits. People kind of get those two mixed up, and they use the word interchangeably. But a ghost is an earthbound spirit. A spirit is one that has ascended and has come back again. So that, you have to kind of look at it that way. We deal with what I call the old demons, which rarely come down here, thank God, but they're the most powerful. And then there are what I call the lesser demons, which are a pain in our rear.
We deal with a lot of them. They're very annoying.
Yeah. And very, very much present in the earth-bound area. And then we deal with the little onions, or the creepy crawlies, as we call them.
Yeah.
Shadow people. I ran across a banshee recently, and I didn't tell you I ran across a watcher.
Really?
Yeah, 2 of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing here?
Watching.
Yeah, the problem with them is, they're not bad, but they're not good either.
They're kind of
in between there,
Yeah.
They're kind of, they can interfere if they want to and stuff, but they're a whole other pain in the rear.
Please, no. We have
That's
enough.
like, come on, you guys. I don't have enough to do without you guys adding to it.
Yep.
It's not a good thing.
And we do all kinds of different things for different people. It's hard to even explain or describe it sometimes.
We do house cleansing.
Yes.
We do personal cleansing on people. We can do a lot of counseling with people about, paranormal activities. Some people get into doing EVPs all the time.
And then they leave the doors open because they don't know what they're doing, and then it causes them problems, and then they have to call us to try and help them get out of their problems.
Yeah, I seem to get a lot. And then you get the odd one that will want you to help them summon a demon.
Yeah, not
And
cool.
I'm like, really? I don't think so. I get rid of them, not bring them in. Thank you very much.
Nope. If you have somebody that wants to summon something, you turn, you run. No, you don't do that. No.
That is not a good thing.
No.
I do not call myself a demonologist because I really hate the title, because there's a lot of negative implications in that, and I've run into ones that were fakes. So my grandmother, who's been gone since 1979, said to me, why don't you call yourself a demon seer? That's what we call people like you in the old country in Ireland. So that's the term I use rather than demonologist, because I just don't like it.
No. I just do my thing.
Yeah, we just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, we know you're there. We're
Go.
coming.
Just go. I had to deal with one up in Washington recently in a friend's house, and I have to go back because there's too much going on to.
Yeah, and this is the only woman that I know of with the cartoon. Cartoon demon.
Hey, what do you expect from me? Nothing but the best.
Calls me. Tell them what happened.
About 2.5 years ago, I was doing dishes in my kitchen, and a knife was pulled up and out of my hand, turned around, and my fingers were almost removed. And I knew what was going on. And I called her. I was not scared. I was royally pissed off. Just flat out, no, we're not going to do this. My family's here. You're not going to be being stupid. So she came over, and she was greeted with my Looney Tunes looking tree stump demon. I'm just not even sure what's going on there with that, but if they're trying to read your mind and that was what scares you, you've got more problems than we know.
I know, because, demonics have a habit of looking into your mind to see what your image of a demon looks like. And then they draw on that to show themselves as that, only something 10 times worse. And they'll put that image into your mind, so that's how you'll see them. I see them the way that they are. I see the pure evil. And most people don't want to see that. No. And it would give you nightmares forever. But I've been seeing them that way all my life, so really they don't bother me. Although they bothered Zach Baggins.
Yeah, he was not having fun with that.
No, he said, I want to see what you see. I'm like, I warned him.
You don't.
No, you don't. And hear what you hear. I said, no, you don't do it. So I told him, I said, okay, here's what I hear. Here's what I see. He didn't like it for some strange reason. I don't know. Just can't figure it out.
Yeah, that's not something you want to, no.
You don't want to really live with that.
No, it's fun. just see disruptions, black, ooky messes, just little slime balls.
Disruptions.
Exactly. Then the big guy is a big, ginormous black thing.
Blob.
No, he wasn't a blob. He was literally just big. Yeah. And just, it was crazy, I tell you.
He was big and black.
Yeah. All of them. He had no face, though. That was the crazy thing. I did not see a face on that.
Cool. I want to see that.
It was just a big black thing, these ginormous black wings. And, like you said, they look at you and This is what you want to see. So what I saw, I guess, is what I was wanting to see.
Yeah. We do a lot of teaching and educating of people. It's like most people think they'll read their tarot cards, or they'll use a pendulum, or they'll use an Ouija board to make a connection to the other side, to get answers. And every time a person does that, it opens a portal. And people don't realize that. And they just when they get through reading or doing whatever they're doing, then they just put away their cards or whatever and walk away. But the portal is still open.
Yep.
And the right way to do it is to ask for God's blessing before you communication, and ask to be given the information that's for your greatest good. And then after you read the cards or do whatever, let's say whatever you're doing, then thank God for his blessing on it and close the portal. Ask him to close the portal.
Exactly. It's not fun to have.
No. There are different types of. There are the white light portals where people, the white light spirits come and go, and it's like no big deal, And then there are the dark portals, which are rarer than the white light, but these are ones that are the dark entities use to come back and forth from our world to their world, and their whole concept is we just want to cause the living as much pain and suffering as possible.
They do a very good job of it.
Yeah, pretty darn good. They got it down pat.
Mm-hmm.
People fail to realize that if you do have an attachment, they do what they can to make your life a living hell.
On all fronts.
I mean, financially, go in the trash. Your relationships go in the trash. Your mental stability goes in the trash. Everything just kind of spirals downhill. What they want is they want to get you away from your friends, support, and isolate you. And then they just down.
Rather sociopathic in behavior.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's quite true, yeah. And I kind of liken them.
Oh, definitely.
Because they'll find that they think might be a good target. And they'll sit back and they'll wait. And they'll watch. They'll watch the routines. They'll watch your beliefs. They'll watch and see if you're, do you do drugs?
What are your weaknesses?
What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? They work out how they can terrorize you the best.
They do a good job, some people.
Yeah, they look for your fears. I mean, I don't like spiders. I hate spiders.
I don't know why that thing didn't show up as a spider.
I know. It's like, really? Come on. You could have shown up as a spider and not a cartoon tree. But it was
going easy on you.
Yeah, it was hilarious because this thing looked like something out of Hanna-Barbera. The spooky woods where the tree has a long nose and it walks around and, the branches and everything. I'm like, really supposed to scare me? Let me think about that one.
Yeah, it's great pulling up and she's laughing at me. My fingers are gone. You think it's funny.
It was the first cartoon I'd ever seen, but we never said she was normal anyway.
No, I'm very proud of my abnormalities.
You should see, but we don't always do dark things.
No.
We trip to Washington. Tell me about that.
Oh, that was so cool.
Washington State, by the way.
That was actually very, very cool. It was a beautiful home that this couple had redone, fairly large. And there was quite a few of us. And so, we separated and several of us women were in the kitchen, probably about 3-4 rooms away. And we were talking about this, that, and the other thing. And, June was getting her feelings and I was getting my feelings. We were all discussing and went back to the other room. And I picked up my phone, which has an app. And in the meantime, it had gotten all these names of people. And the homeowner, she had gone down to wherever, City Hall,
yeah.
And found out who owned the house before. And we told her, don't tell us. We don't want to know this stuff. And so I started reading names off that had been on mine. And she's sitting there going, yep. There's only a couple that was on mine that was not on hers. And also had felt the heaviness of an impending loss. And unfortunately, the other member of the household passed away a few months later. But it was still just a very fun thing to do, because it was just opened up to us. We here have free range. There's nothing horrible here, which there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted to talk to you.
Oh, and then we took another trip to the Weinhardt Hotel.
Oh, yeah, in Eastern Washington. I had to set that up because I'm a history buff. She doesn't love history. She's had to live it too often. But I took her over there, and she's like, why are we here? Well, I knew something she didn't. So I took her up to the cemetery, which, cemeteries are not her favorite places. They're mine. And I took her to a headstone, and before she saw it, she's walking up behind me laughing. It was the headstone and burial place of a man who had said that he was one of the remaining survivors of the Battle of Little Bighorn. And June walks up behind me laughing, telling me what this gentleman's opinion of him was before she knew who or what he was. So we thoroughly enjoyed that. And we had some little haunting buddies there in our room and downstairs.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And then the hand.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
Yes. If you like, let's see, Addams Family?
Yeah. That was, thing.
Yeah. We're sitting on our beds. We had these cute little antique twin beds, and we're sitting there, and we both looked up in time to see this disembodied hand reach for the connecting door to the other room. And I looked at her, and she's like, did you see that? I'm like, yeah, both a hand. And then it was gone. It was just hilarious because it only happened once.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, okay, whatever.
I've never seen that one before. And then we had the people in the corners that were talking all night.
Yeah.
It's hard to sleep sometimes.
Yeah. So
just gotta zip it.
And we recently went to Alcatraz. Mm-hmm. We did this last May. We did a night investigation.
Yep.
It was quite interesting. We went with the idea of going into
isolation.
Isolation, yeah. The cell block D.
Yeah,
cell number 13.
I think
I think it was 13.
All I can do is giggle.
Yeah, and it's solitary confinement. They said, who wants to go in? And we're like, oh, yeah, us. So we go in there, and you can't see your hand in front of your face. It's funny. And then you see these pair of red eyes in the distance. And
you're like, oh, hey.
You're like, hey, come on down. Let's play.
I quotes and quotes videotaped it, if you want to call black videotaping anything.
I know. And it kept shutting down my recorder. I'm like, really? You guys are buttheads. Quit shutting down my recorder.
Yep.
But it was quite interesting. We did some removals while we were there, and I'm coming into A block. They give you like a headset and a recorder where it tells you about, the history of the place. And I got into the first one. I was like a couple cells in. All of a sudden I hear this, hey, you. And I'm like,
what?
What? What do you want?
Leave me alone.
He's like, you going to help us? And I'm like, maybe, if you stop bugging me.
Talk nicely to me.
He looked exactly like Peter Lorre in his skinny days.
Oh, my God.
Bucky, big eyes and all. Skinny little ratty, ferret-looking guy.
I just kept seeing people disappearing on me. Going around the corners.
Yeah, it's like, don't. Like,
okay, it's fine. I personally enjoyed going to
Winchester.
Thank you. I need a new brain, one that works.
Yeah,
as soon as we walked in, I saw Sarah standing there, and she's pretty much happy, except for when they want to talk about the loss of her family.
Yeah.
And then she's very sad, and you can see that, and you can feel that. But the rest of the time, she's perfectly happy for people to see and hear the history. And the movie had just come out, and I was going to watch it beforehand with my daughter who was with us, but we ended up watching it after, and I'm really glad because in the movie they acknowledged the reality of, okay, the house was demolished in certain parts because of the earthquake, not because of a demon, and it was very respectfully done, and so I was glad I got to see it after I went.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't done that yet.
It was actually pretty cool.
I'll have to watch it.
The other's like, oh, we were there. I remember that.
Because she wasn't happy with the movie.
No, because she was not insane.
No, she wasn't.
And I went and checked out some of the people that they'd interviewed here and there. And I'm like, I'm so not impressed because these people would have been 1,000 years old to have done what they claimed they had done with her. She was a recluse. She was not out throwing tea parties.
No, she doesn't, they had in the music room, there were these the stained glass windows, and the guide was saying, when I went, was my second trip to the Winchester house. And the first trip, I was there, and the guy says, we don't know what Sarah meant by these sayings on the windows. And I think it was William Shakespeare.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like King Henry or something like
that. Something like that. Henry VIII.
They were quotes from that, whatever.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, well, she was a spiritualist.
Yes, that was very clear.
I mean, come on. I said, what she means is, in spiritualist belief, thought becomes reality. And that's what this passage means, that thought becomes reality.
Which you've been saying for 100 years.
Which I've always known. But, you have to die to verify that. So I did.
Can I wait for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, it's quite interesting. People will ask, well, how can Michael, the archangel, be in like 100 places at the same time?
Because he's an angel.
And I told him, I said, it's because on the other side, there's no distance. It's like,
there's no time, there's no nothing.
Turn in your wherever and turn in your, they don't have like
parameters,
distance as we know it. Yep. When I died in a motorcycle accident, it was there. It was a case of, there were no walls, there were no ceilings, there was no boundaries. And when you first got there, it was like you could hear all these other voices, all these other souls talking.
That'd be crazy.
But they were all a part of a greater consciousness. And it was kind of weird because when I first got up there, and my grandma and grandpa met me, and I could hear all these voices. I couldn't see any. There was nobody, but I could hear them all in conversations and stuff.
Sounds like my head.
Yeah. Tell me about it. But, I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. So, but it's also kind of weird because
I see nobody, but I'm hearing a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm like, which conversation do I follow? Do I follow any of them? And I'm like, Michael's like, no, just ignore them.
Just go.
Just ignore them. They will, they'll fade in a minute or two. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And they did.
That at home lately.
And they did. What?
I've been having the voices. They've been waking me up at night. I need to set some more parameters.
Yeah.
I sat straight up recently, and I'm like, there are people in the corner. Stop.
Yeah, you got to set your boundaries, man.
I know.
Because if you don't, they'll try to wake you up at all hours of the night, and they will, yeah. But, I don't have that issue because they just don't bother me.
I've been setting the parameters. I guess they have short-term memory loss.
Yeah. Maybe they're like bugs. They're short, talk about memory of a gnat or attention span of a gnat.
Exactly. We have one little spirit that is the spirit of a friend of one of my sons. We lost him a couple years ago. This is one of the most, this is not even, I don't think, a word, but we're using it, pranksterish spirits ever. This young man had the greatest personality. He played jokes on people. He'd throw pencils. So I'm always having pens laying all over my house. One of his favorite things to do used to be to shake up a soda and hand it to somebody they didn't know it. And of course, we all know what happens there. When we went to Eastern Washington, it was a month and a half after we lost him. We just checked out. My car's 2 months old. I go to open my soda that was sitting there nice and cool. It hadn't been touched. Cotton picking thing blew up all over me. She starts laughing and says, well, this is who it is. And I'm like, you little brat, and I have no place to change my clothes. I'm completely sticky, sitting there holding the lid. So I found this restroom or whatever, changed my clothes, came back, went to take the lid off, and he'd resealed it. And this has happened on many occasions, and we know who it is. And it happens to my daughter, too.
Yeah.
He loves to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, he does like to let you know he's there.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he bugged us the other day, though. I think he was elsewhere.
Yeah, he
I
was
just thought
with
he'd
his
have been
mom.
there. Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, he's with his mom. It's quite interesting, the amount of people that need help. I mean, I did a radio show called Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis a couple years ago on Halloween.
Perfect time.
I know. It's called Demons Here, and it was a 4-hour show.
Oh.
And I got out about midnight. Unfortunately, I didn't have to go to work next day. But it was a great show, and we did a lot of talking and stuff. But, people call in and stuff, and you get some strange people calling.
Very unique.
Yes. Very out there in left field somewhere, I would have to say. But from that show, I got, in a space of a week, I got like over 200 requests for help with removals and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was shortly after that we started doing it, wasn't it? Because you were like, okay, I can't.
Yeah, there's too many. It took me 2 months to get everybody situated. It's like crazy. But, there's a lot of people out there that do need help. And then there are the ones that it's not demonic and they need some
understanding
and counseling.
And we attempt to do that. We went to one not too long ago. It was a family that was having some issues. They were not negative. It was family that was still there, kind of sort of being held there by one of the members of the family because of their missing them, their loss. And we had to sit and have this long conversation with them to let them know that they're kind of holding them there and they didn't realize it. And so it opened up the floor for the whole family to sit and have a discussion and to go forward. And when we did one of our actually I've done a couple of follow-ups, and things are so much better there. But that doesn't mean we're marriage counselors. We're not. No,
I did a distance removal for a woman, and she wanted, she was splitting with her other half, and she says, she's just not wanting to settle down and not wanting to realize that I need to move on. And she's like, can you do anything to help me? And I told her, I says, listen, I don't do people.
No.
I don't do counseling. I am not a counselor. I can only honestly talk about what I know, which is, the paranormal and nursing. So really, I can't help them. I try to people, listen, I can't help you with that stuff. I don't only do the dead. I don't do the living.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
I don't do living people, no. It's a lot easier to understand the other side.
Yeah. It's just plain and simple. Although there are some times when
they're confused sometimes. They're really confused.
Oh my God. I went to a place up in La Grande, Oregon, and I had a friend that was there, and she says, really, I have this couple that I need you to look, go to their house and see what's going on with them. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we pull up out in front of the house and we're walking through the carport, and I'm like, the minute we hit the carport, I'm like, really? She's like, what? I said, there's a man in here that doesn't want to go. And so we go inside, and I meet the homeowner, and she's like, I'm having some issues. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's sitting in the recliner in the living room. I said, I'll go talk to him. So, sometimes when people die, they get confused and they're not quite sure about where they need to go or what they need to do. That was the case with this gentleman. He was in his 70s, and he had owned the house forever. And he was sitting in his recliner one day, and he had chest pain. And he said, the next thing I know, everything goes black. And he says, and then I'm waking up. Well, that's a relative statement, yeah. And my son and daughter-in-law are talking about renting out my house. And he says, I'm trying to get them to pay attention to me. He says, and then I realize that they can't hear me. That to you was the same thing as going into shock. You went into a form of shock. That's why you blacked out. Around, then you saw your family and everything. And I said, don't you want to cross? Don't you want? He says, well, I haven't liked the renters that they found for my house. They don't take care of it. And I said, what about the two people that are here now? Yes, they like my house. They take care of my house.
Okay.
I said, then you got no reason to stay here. Right. I said, you need to move on. Well, I don't know if I want to go. I said, what about your mom and dad? I said, don't you want to see your mom and dad again? Oh, yeah, I'd like to see my mom and dad. I said, what about your wife? Not so much. I'm like, okay.
Let's go back to the parents now.
Yeah, I said, if you want to see your mom and dad, it crossed. And so I created a white light tunnel for him. I can do that. I can create white light tunnels. And then he crossed over, and that was that. But not everybody wants to cross over.
No, and then some are perfectly. It's like we lost a friend earlier this year. He'd been dealing with a lot of diabetes. And we knew his time was coming, and he left his body when he was darn good and ready. And he said he would come back occasionally. He was happy. And he wanted the guys that were going to the funeral to wear blue. Blue is his favorite color.
Oh, that's cool.
And I didn't tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
All the guys showed up in blue shirts. And it was after the fact they said, you do know where you're wearing the color he wanted you guys to wear. I told Heather. It's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. And so recently he saw him at the grocery store. Nobody was in the aisle. He said there he was, and he blinked, and there he was gone. I said, I told you, he's going to come back occasionally. He crossed happily. He was so ready.
Yeah, well, some people are just like, oh, I'm out of here, man.
He was the most giving individual in the world, and he was using fingers and toes, and, he stopped being a football coach and these things. So it's like, you know what? They want to take my leg off. Bag it. I'm not leaving. I'm going now. Before they even put him out.
Yeah, before they even start to go there with that one.
Yep. So some are ready, and then some, like my friends, or my son's friend, that he was so confused because it was not a good scene. It was an accidental thing that occurred. It has not been resolved yet, but that asked me all day why. And that was the most exhausting one I have ever dealt with, because he was so scared and confused and traumatized. And, when they are horribly done, sometimes these poor spirits are traumatized. And I was so exhausted by the time I got home. I was told I looked like death warmed over, that my eyes were about ready to fall out of my head because I'd been crying all day. Couldn't get him to stop. And so luckily June put forward her energy with mine, and we took care of the situation. Each person, when they go, has a different story, just like on this earth.
Yeah.
And we're all going to react to it differently. Luckily anymore, it's pretty cool, and it's okay to do the things that we do and to help each other, whether we can see each other or not. Not insane. Yeah,
that's why I don't believe in, being a paranormal investigator as well. It's like I don't believe in provocation, because that's not right. It's like somebody coming into your house and calling you a lazy good for nothing in your own home. I mean, you get mad, and that's what spirits do too. They don't want you. They were people at one time. They don't want you to come in there and tell them what to do and how to do it in their own place.
Just to get a rise out of them so you can get an EVP or something. No. That's not the way you do it.
I'd like just once for one of them to kick somebody in the butt.
They do it other ways, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's not good enough.
We have been watching it over many years with many different people, how it does affect them. You can only do that so often before it shows on you. Yep.
It takes a toll. It's just people, become earthbound when they die from, it's usually from a few things like trauma. Mm-hmm. They die unexpectedly or traumatically, and it's not, a lot of times they don't know they're dead. And once they do, they don't know how to rectify it and cross to the other side, because they're like, now what do I do? Where do I go? So they'll get somebody to try to help them. And it's like I tell people that come to me for readings and stuff, I tell them, You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't find me unless they wanted you to find me.
Exactly.
I said, the other side is like a game of chess. They make their moves and they get everything in the right position, and then checkmate. You get in connection with the person you need to be connected with, so that they can get their message across to you. Yep. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. People need, even on the other side, people need
to be listened to.
Yeah, and they need closure.
Yep.
Exactly. So many people, when they die quickly and tragically, they have no closure.
No. That's why it's why. Yeah. Why? And, sometimes we don't have an answer for them. Sometimes we do, and they don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not a good one.
Yeah. It's not always, just if they remain earthbound, they're stuck in their physical world mentality, and they can be pretty stubborn and, pretty mean and sometimes, about like, I'm mad. It's like, why did I die? I don't want to die. I should still be alive. I had a lot more things to do. And I told him, I said, you know what? I can't help you. That was your time. You need to move on so you can understand. I said, once you move on,
you'll get it.
You'll understand. People fail to realize that before we even cross over into the physical world, we set things up that are set in stone. The time we go in to this world, the time in this world, the method in which we leave, accomplish during this particular lifetime. And people think, they died too young. They went before their time. They didn't.
They chose that time.
They chose that time. And, a lot of people think, what kind of idiot would, die from being hit by a train or falling down a hole or whatever, or cancer. But it's all about the experience. People need to understand that we come down to live physical world lives because we want to know about the experience. We want to experience it for ourselves.
It seems good on the other side because you don't have all the crap to deal with until you get here.
Yeah, and then you don't realize about, the people behind, the pain involved in whatever type of death that you're having or whatever. There's many factors.
Way many. A lot.
That's what I like about animals. When they die, they don't hang around. They don't have our baggage. We have like zillions of baggage.
No, but luggage. They do like to run through our houses sometimes.
That's true. They do like.
And I keep seeing owls. I'm like, dude, stop.
And because you're not, that's why you see them.
Well, mother, who is an animal girl,
yeah, see?
They come to visit her.
There you go. And you're like, that?
I don't know, Mom. I didn't see that. She's seen them.
It's just like, oh, you're coming to visit? Okay,
Yeah.
And it's like, we live thousands of lives. Like, you live once and then die and go up there and float around on a fluffy cloud. That doesn't happen. We live lives over and over again. It's all about free will. If we decide to come back to life, we do. If we want to come back as an animal, we come back as an animal. If we want to come back as a human, we come back as a human. It's no deal because the soul's the same, whether you're an animal or whether you're human.
You are the same person every time.
Yeah, it don't change. The soul doesn't change. Oh, let me change my soul today. It doesn't work that way. And a lot of people think that there's no gender on the other side. But there is definitely a male and a female energy associated with, with souls.
Yep.
And the one that's within me, Ariel, she's definitely a female. And she feels that women are more powerful. And so, that's what she's, a lot of people think she was a male, though, and stuff like that. And she's like, that ain't me. Like, cut that stuff out.
And they do have the misconception of angels that they're angelic, peaceful, kind, gentle. I can you. They can be dismissive, ornery, and just annoying.
Yep. Ariel has attitude. Big attitude. Mm-hmm. Although she has come a long way in this lifetime.
Especially this year.
Yeah. So she is growing. I finally made her realize that, inside each one of these humans, there is a white light soul. So you need to know knockout attitude towards the living.
Mine, whatever it is, has been running amok, so I think she's calming down quite a bit.
Amok.
Amok, yes. Definitely, we are just a little amok. Driving me slowly insane.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
It's a short trip for both of us.
I'm there.
No, we enjoy what we do. I mean, it's not for everyone, and I can understand that. And but if you have a problem, with a negative entity, you should seek out someone who does this on a regular basis.
And if they want to charge you, I would strongly suggest backing up and rethinking it, because you know what? That's not right. We don't charge you. Oh, yeah, it's going to be $1,200 for us to come through to make your life hopefully a little bit easier. No, that's not cool. We will come because we want to help you.
That's right. It's like a paranormal investigation. If they're going to for that, no, run, do not walk.
We have heard of one that charges, it's a session, like 3 sessions for this person to come in to cleanse your house, and it's like, what was it, $1,200 a pop or some gosh awful thing.
It's like, where are you coming from with that one?
And when you're scared and terrified, you're willing to do it. But my question is, does it always work? What's going on? Would you do this to somebody? Yeah,
I don't understand people to other people, because really, if you care, then you just do it.
Yep.
I can't tell you, how many times people come to me and said, I need this help. Yep. Removal. Me, and it's like, I don't charge for that stuff.
We're like, no, we don't.
It's all about helping, and if they want to make a donation, fine. But they need to pass it on. They need to find somebody else, find somebody that needs help and help them, or refer them. It doesn't make any difference as long as they pass on the good deeds.
I have people who have asked me, why do you do this? Are you afraid? Those things are bad. My youngest son is the one that pointed out a very good Bible verse to me, and I live by it. Alter the words a little bit. It says, there is no greater gift I can give than to lay my life down for someone else. And if that's how I'm supposed to go out, protecting somebody from the other side, I'll do it. That's just how it is.
Yeah, it's all about doing God's work. People say, you should charge for that. And I'm like, no. I said, you don't charge for God's work. I mean, he gives you the abilities. He gives you the gifts. So you're going to charge him for it? You're going to charge people for it? No, I don't think so. Freely given, you freely give. Exactly.
So we are here, and just get a hold of us. We told you how. It's easy.
If you need help, go to ghostsandgirlsparanormal.com or demonseer.com and send us a message, and we will help you as soon as we can.
Or Instagram or Facebook. We order all of them.
Yes, we do.
Constantly.
We try to help as many people as we can, and that's what we're all about. And we're all about educating people about negatives. If you have questions, go to our website and send us a question, and we'll respond. Usually we respond within 24 hours.
There are times, like when we were out of the country a couple months back, we still tried to monitor things, but, their internet was not the quickest.
It was spotty at best.
Yes. I'd do that trip over again in a heartbeat, but that was not the highlight.
No. Yeah, we did a show over there, and her power pack blew up on her laptop.
Show, yeah. The way we like to do it. A little bang here and there.
Thank God we had a backup.
I'm glad you brought that.
At 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, it was terrific. They were sleeping, and we were wide awake.
Oh, yeah. We stayed with friends over there, but it was a blast. We enjoyed it.
Yep.
We are going to go to Cape Asita Lighthouse.
No, North Head.
North Head Lighthouse.
I've got a promise to fulfill.
Yep, we have to help somebody over there.
Yep. I promised, and I'm late delivering.
That's our next trip.
Looking forward to it. We could do it from afar, but no, I owe this person the respect of going and doing it.
So that's our next trip. That's our next adventure.
Yes. We have many planned.
Then we're hopefully this summer going to a Gold Hill Hotel.
Yeah. friend who has
Yeah.
been there. That will be a blast. We want to go back down to Golden
Yeah. We want to take care of business with the negatives
again.
again.
Many spirits like to roam in some areas.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, we done?
So join us again
Yeah.
next Wednesday for our next installment of The Dark Side with June
and Wendy. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great day.
The dark side is always there, waiting for us to enter us. Until next time, try to enjoy the daylight.